And what's cool this past year is that we actually had an All-Star game. Obviously, the All-Star game that we ended up hosting didn't really include all the superstars. Okay. Um, but they were all seniors, and a lot of them are on this list. So I got the first pick, and with the first pick of the 2022 GSF All-Star Draft, Team GSF 5-star select.
Get Sports Focus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing, Ike's Love and Sandwiches, championship level sandwiches every single time, weightsandbars.com, build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts, and by South Bay Construction, a reputation built on trust.
And with the first pick of the 2022 GSF All-Star Draft, Team GSF 5-star select. Ferrari Miller McClymans. And he was also the GSF All-Star Game MVP. This guy really, really impressed me from the moment he came to camp for the All-Star. I mean, I know about him, but when you see this guy in person, oh my God. I think every single coach in that opening camp were like, where'd you get this guy? This guy's amazing. And I was like, he's from MAC, man. That's what they do there. They do amazing things. Coach Peter has done a great job with the program. And as you can see, he is a baller. And he, I know I'm probably going to get a text from my guy, but I kind of promised everybody about my first round overall pick, and there was a last minute switch. I had to go with Ferrari, man. I had to go with Ferrari. So congratulations, Ferrari. He is now at San Jose. No, he is at City College of San Francisco. I still can't believe he didn't get any solid D1 offers, but he's gonna. Yeah, congratulations to him. It was an honor having him be part of the first ever GSF Senior All-Star Game, and now this is another recognition he can add. And I'm sure this little segment of Ferrari is gonna go semi-viral, hopefully major. But that was my first pick. We're gonna skip 2 and 3, and we're gonna skip to Coach Andrew's 4th overall pick. So, Coach, go ahead and introduce your team's first pick, 4th overall.
Yeah, so with
Coach, you're on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Well, with the 4th overall pick of the GSF All-Star Draft 2022, Team Axios drafts Cooper Flanagan from De La Salle. Yeah, honestly, being able to watch that game, and then, watch a couple of the games that that they played, and then having watched him, the past couple of years that he's been at De La Salle, he's a force on both sides. He's one of those players, he's so dynamic that if he's not having a good offensive day, he's killing on the defensive side, and then vice versa. And then he has great games, super quick, good hands. He runs really good routes for a tight end. For me, when it comes to drafting, a tight end is crucial, because the offense that they run over there, he could block. You have to block in that offense. So, and he can play both sides. So, with him, I saw some of it on Instagram. It looks like he's doing really well over at Notre Dame.
Yep.
So congratulations to you, Cooper Flanagan. I look forward to seeing some big things with you over with the Irish. So we hope to see you playing on, Saturdays, on prime time.
Hey, man, it's never too late to recognize this class of 2023, because this is a special class. And as you can see, this is from last season, okay? Last season, not off season, looking ahead. This is last season. And you're going to hear some names that are up and coming, some names that are going to be mentioned a lot this coming fall. But 2023 is a special class, and we can't move on to this fall without recognizing these guys. And this is a perfect opportunity to close out the previous season and off season and congratulate these guys. And also, when you look at this list online, you're going to see, you know, the height and weight, their rating, their high school, and their college. So a lot of these guys are at the next level. Now, I do want to mention my second pick, which is the 5th overall GSF 5-star select, Danny Neal of the Sarah Padres, class of 2024. He committed to San Diego State during the offseason. Sarah's about to destroy everybody this year. I'm sorry if I'm making anybody mad, especially the WCL teams, but I have been going to these games over the past couple of years, and I've seen this 2024 class of the Sarah Padres, and they're about to hurt some people. And so Danny, I'm really impressed with Danny. He is he's a force, man. And there's a lot of stars on that team, but Danny is really one of those kids that really impressed me. And, you know, he's my second pick for this draft. Congratulations, Danny. Coach, who was
So we're
your
skipping.
who's
Oh
your
yeah.
second?
So my second pick, which is the 8th pick of the GSF draft, is Amos Talalele from Santa Clara, local kid, you know. And I mean, when I saw him like on some like, you know, on the coverage, and then, you know, I think I saw him at something. He's huge. He's a big guy,
He's bigger.
and he moves really well. You know, that kind of, you know, that kind of work that you put in, and then, you know, with Santa Clara, you know, he's just like in a league of his own, you know, the way he just like kind of, I'm just gonna say, like, he just manhandles everybody. He's a man amongst boys at that point. You know, he's super strong, and like I said, you know, he's very agile to be that size and to be that, like, to move that well. You know, there's a reason why, you know, he's starred and he's going to USC. You know, that's that kind of speaks on its own. It's a lot of young man moving, and he's moving well, and he's going to play at a very good school. You know, they saw something in him, and it's really big for this area, you know, from Santa Clara. He's a local kid, you know, so that says, like, you know, they'll find you, you know, they will find you. But he looks like he took a lot of time to like perfect his craft, and, you know, I'm really excited for him, and congratulations to everything you're going to do in the future.
Nice. Well, he is a 3-star. Can't believe he was a 3-star. He should have been 4. But 6'5", 330, going to USC. He's over there at USC as we speak, competing. And so here's the thing. The number 1 through number 7 picks were like ballers. I mean, you got Ferrari Miller, Jabari Mann, Jaden Rashada, Cooper Flanagan, tight end, Danny Niu, R.L. Miller, Isaiah Hunter, and then Coach Andrew decided, you know what, I got to build my line. So guess what? That changed my strategy completely. Threw me off because Amos was the first lineman that I was going to pick. So what happened there? Well, I had to grab another lineman from the list that's like just as good, if not, I think he's better than Amos. Sorry, Amos.
Hey.
But hey, this is my team with the 9th overall pick, GSF 5-star selects Derek Thompson of the De La Salle Spartans. Dude, this guy is amazing, man. And he is going to Harvard because he is a smart boy. He got hurt in the 2022 season, but I mean, he didn't even have to play really his senior season because he showed as a junior what he was all about. But Great kid. His dad, I ran into his dad like a couple of times during one of those 5-on-5 tournaments. Derek is college ready, and he's gonna do some damage over there at Harvard. He's a 3-star, 6'2", 282. That at least that was his listed height and weight back in high school. I'm sure he's bigger now, stronger. So, the draft, it changed the strategy a little bit because, man, I wanted to make sure that I get when you pick a lineman, Amos, he was at the top of my list as well. I was like, okay, I gotta shift, and now I'm gonna go get, Derek Thompson.
Oh yeah, I think I shook the group
You
when
did.
I just started going lineman, and then everyone was like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "Oh no, I know what I'm doing."
So go ahead and move on to your next pick, Coach.
So with the 12th pick, my third pick in the GSF All-Star Draft, Axios drafts Jacob Ahumada from Christopher,
Hey, he is also a GSF All-Star, by the way.
GSF All-Star.
Where is he now?
He's at UNLV.
Hey,
Ah,
baby. Yep.
UNLV. He's doing really well over there. He checks in with me pretty pretty often, and I'll check up on him. Hands down, probably one of the best centers in this area. Great snaps get there, and he gets right into position, and he's big, 6'4". I think he's now three. I think he's 310 now. I think that's what he told me. He's up there. He got bigger, but he does he put on he's putting on that college size.
Nice.
He's looking really good. Definitely probably very overlooked. And he deserves this recognition because he helped propel that team. That team made it to the finals his junior year, to CCS where they, when they unfortunately lost to Sacred Heart Cathedral, but he was the center then. And then they made it back, moved up to Division II, anchored that offensive line. They would not have been as successful if they didn't have a leader like him and they didn't have a player like him. Super dynamic, great feet, very strong, good base. So Jacob, I wish you all the best over at UNLV. I know you're gonna kill it, and I know you're gonna do everything that we've talked about, and he deserves this.
Yep. It was interesting. After you picked Jacob, who was also at the top of my list, I was like, he's really doing this thing. So I decided to open up the O-line, D-line list. Now, this made me realize that, you know what? Coach Andrew is a coach, and he knows what he wants when he's building a team. So I got to pretend like I know what I'm doing as well. So I switched my mindset to, you know what? I'm going to go for two-way guys. From here on out, I'm only going to select guys that are two-way players. So with the 13th overall pick, GSF 5-star select Javon Reels, Bellarmine Bells, CCS champ, NorCal champ. He is going to San Diego, and he really impressed me during the warm-ups against Menlo Atherton. I was sold. I was like, this guy's going to be an all-star. He was also invited to the GSF All-Star game, but obviously, he's headed to college, so he couldn't play. But very impressive. I think he was one of the he's definitely first team all WCAL. But I'm pretty sure that he was one of the award winners, league award winners. Yeah, so that really shifted my strategy, Coach. And as you can see from the lists that are published, I'm just gonna go on, okay, with my picks, and then you can talk about yours. After Reels, I went for Champ Dalalea, Valley Christian. I think he should have been higher, but Valley Christian didn't have a great year, so not a lot of noise were coming out of that South Bay. And then after him, after Champ, I went with RJ Stevens. And then after RJ, I went for Timo Paloka. So I mean, that's a pretty stacked team. I'm proud of myself for picking these guys. Can you imagine Timo, RJ, Champ, Reels, and Thompson? Those guys can play defense, can play offense. That's a 5-star line right there, coach. I don't know. I think I think I got the best line. If you look at my list, really, dude, hands down, I won.
That's how you play
it. I know, man. Wouldn't it be great if there was a game with these guys? So after Jacob, who did you end up picking?
So I actually went with with the 16, I went with Bennett Anderson from the Bellarmine Bells. Up and coming. He just committed to Yale.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've had the pleasure of, training him for the last couple years and seeing his development hands down. Like he is, I think now he is the best offensive lineman in the WCAL.
I was looking at him, but
he's huge.
But he was a little bit young last year. Like I said, this is last year, okay? We're picking based on last year. And so I passed on him. But this season,
he's matured a lot. He's again, two back-to-back guys like with Jacob and Bennett, leaders of their teams. Actually all these guys, like all 4 of them, like these are all leader guys. So that's kind of like what I was looking for. So after that, after Bennett, I went with Oliver Bari from St. Francis. Another leader, another very dynamic lineman. I think he's going over to San Diego, USD, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and again, if the leaders are not on the line, got no team.
Yeah.
Got no team. So, I've met Oliver. He played, he was in the GSF All-Star game.
No,
he was supposed.
He was on the roster.
That's right.
Beginning, and then he kind of bailed, and I think that has something to do with me not picking him. I'm sorry. He was on my list too, but I went with the younger guys, Champ and Timo. No, but Oliver Bari.
He's a great lineman. Great lineman. He's strong. He knows where to be. He'll keep going. He doesn't stop. Like he will go until like he hears that whistle. So, I really like the way that he plays. And that's why I picked him. And then how many more picks are we going down?
Who's your 24th pick?
I picked Rain Mayo from Valley Christian, who plays on the same line as Champ. So, and with those guys together, things kind of like, obviously you can tell, like, it kind of like bled off onto him. Like he got better, like as the season went on, that you got 2 really good linemen right there, and they're a predominantly running team. So if you're running behind those 2 guys, you're going to be fine, so I saw that when you saw Champ. So I was like, oh man, and then I was like, oh wait, they have another guy who's also a 3-star. So,
yeah,
it's like, hey, you know what? I'll stick with that on there.
He's coming back. And with
my
all
line,
all the ballers being taken right here, I mean, it's funny how there's a lot of linemen that got drafted right after Jacob.
And I shook the whole system.
It kind of shook the whole system, and it kind of sprinkled the players down below. I like your 28th pick, by the way. Who's your 28th pick, coach?
Local guy, Logan Saldate. wide receiver, plays DB as well. So this is where like I started to shift gears a little bit. You know, I was like, okay, I got my line. Let's start sprinkling in some playmakers on the outside. You
Going
know,
to Notre Dame.
going to Notre Dame. Yeah. You know, that was a
Flipped.
flip. Yeah, that was the surprise. You know, and he's a really good guy. I got super athletic. I got to watch him through the entire track season. You know, very athletic guy. You know, he's like one of those guys like you throw it up, he'll go get it. You know, you just put it within his radius, he'll go get it.
So he
But you know,
committed, right? He
he's
committed.
committed. Hmm.
I'm not sure if that commitment
He's gonna stick.
stick.
We'll see. I mean, Notre Dame's a
I know
good
Logan's dad.
choice.
So Logan's brother, Chase, outstanding wrestler, one of the I think he was the best in the country when he was a senior. And
Hmm.
I got to know the family. I got to know his dad, Jimmy. The flip really surprised me in a good way. I was like, whoa, he went from this team to Notre Dame. Now they live in Gilroy, right?
Hmm.
California. The weather's very, very nice. And then you're gonna go to Notre Dame. Great school, great football tradition, but the weather sucks over there. So I don't know, man. He's
I
gonna
guess
put
what
senior year. He's gonna get a lot more attention. He's got a lot of offers, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up somewhere sunny where
you
he
mean
can
on the way.
where he can wear his tank top and flex while walking around campus for the ladies. No, dude. I mean that family is a very athletic family. I mean, so here Chase is at Michigan State,
Hmm.
but he's a wrestler, so he's indoors.
Yeah, so
Football
weather
is an
doesn't
outdoor
matter.
sport. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I just have a feeling. But Jimmy's probably gonna call me later when he sees this. But no, congratulations to Logan. Looking at the rest of the list, do you have any comment on some of your other picks? Maybe pick like two or three other guys that you want to talk about from the list. So what happened was we were gonna go to what 124, but
No, we
we
just went to 100.
no, we went. So we ended up doing 100, which means there's 25 guys in each roster. And like I said, this is number one, the guys that we saw. These are the guys we saw in person. Number two, these are the guys that we consistently saw in person. And you'll find that one interesting thing about the list is like these are guys that we're connected to. So just like in real life, relationship kind of matters, right? And so there's some guys that I picked because I have a good connection with the school or the family and the player. And especially in the later later rounds or my later picks, there are some guys that I picked there just because I know that they're first of all they're capable of being an all-star and that they deserve the attention. So, you want to talk a little bit about some of your guys that you ended up picking?
Yeah.
Around?
I mean, it took me a while because I think it was like later on, like, after these like next few picks, like I started seeing like, quarterbacks were starting to come off the list.
Yeah, when
And I
did you
was
pick
like,
your quarterback?
not till pick 40. Yeah. And I went with Parker 3. That one was like, I saw all the the way you guys reacted. They're like, oh, like I knew what I was doing at this point, like I wanted a dynamic athlete, I wanted a dynamic quarterback, and Parker is all of that,
Yeah.
and I watching him during sevens, watched him during the season, he's gotten so much better, especially from last year when I first met him at the Top Dog camp. When I first met him, He was a lot smaller, and now he's filled out. He's grown up a lot. So I got to give him, a lot of a lot of praise on that he's going to be one to look out for. He's going to make plays either through the air or
Yeah.
on his own legs. That's kind of what I was looking at. You know, and you can put him anywhere. He got to play on my sevens team. I think twice he got to play with us
Hey, he
twice.
got to play in one game, all right, in one tournament. He was my QB. Don't
Was
be
it?
taking credit.
No. Hey, I had a great time. Me and Cadero and I had a great time at that.
Passing
I
down.
think that was passing down. And it was so different. Like he just wanted to stay on the field. He didn't care what he was doing, whether he was playing defense, whether he was as a receiver, when he was playing quarterback. There was even a point where he's like, leave that quarterback in, I'll just run routes. And it was just, I forgot who we played. They were not expecting that because they've seen him as your quarterback.
Yeah.
And
Now
so to see him running routes,
he's
they were
definitely gonna have a great season, and I'm excited to see that. But this is interesting. So the first quarterback picked obviously was Ferrari Miller. I forgot to mention that he's a quarterback and
mhm.
an athlete. And then, I think this is just about right. Jaden Rashada was number 3 overall. Coach Romero picked Jaden. And then Ethan picked Matthew Doherty. That was his first. That was the next quarterback drafted after Rashada, and he was number 34. And as soon as Matt got taken, I went Milwaukee Smith of the Sarah Padres. So he was the 37th pick. And then you pick Parker. And then Wills Towers, 78. Way down there. But like I said, I was going for guys that could play both ways.
Mhm.
Taden Phillips. Whoo!
That was a good one.
That's got to
That was
be one of the best picks I made because Taden, he was a quarterback and an athlete. And with Taden, Milwaukee, and Ferrari in the same few, that's yeah. Good luck, people.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a I was like, dang it. I was like, oh man, I just watching that firsthand was just
Yeah,
insane. Like just to
I
see like
I
how
I
dynamic
knew
he
I was
is.
gonna pick. I knew I was gonna pick Maui as my second QB. Um, you know, but Ferrari can do it all. Taden can do it all, but you got to have a real QB back there. And I was very fortunate to draft Mr. Smith, who's about to dissect every single defense in the WCAL this year. So that's the GSF All-Star Draft with Coach Andrew. Great job, man. Thank you for taking the time, and I'm gonna send you some free egg sandwich. All right. So we mentioned the WCAL. There was a post last week or the week before. No, it was last week. Last week,
It's
early
last
last.
week.
And Coach, you wanna read what is on that post?
Yeah. So it was a PSA. Says, attention prospective student athletes. We are excited